Hey everyone, welcome back to Alvin's Vehicle. So today we are going to start the finals. Yeah, exciting. So first, number 1 seed is Withering Wagons. In their match, they had 3 cars remaining. That's a lot of cars. And they had 45 points at the end of the match. Second ranked are Splitters. They had 2 cars at the end of their match. Very solid ones, too. 31 points. Indigo Ice Picks had 1 car at the end of their match, which was Nerf Hammer, and they got 18. Big Blue and Witness Me's. They had 1 car at the end of their match, Big Blue almost losing theirs in round 4, and they got 16 points, along with Brick Built, who was in a different match, but was the best team in their match, and they had 2 cars remaining. Very impressive, along with the trucks, with 2 Agile trucks with 15 points. Drab Gray had 14 points, but losing their never eliminated vehicle. They survived with the Audi. Green Gold and Lambo number 5 held on with only 1 car. They got like 6 points each. And yeah, I think that's it. Here's the rankings starts, and it's time for round 1. Up first, it's going to be the Mercury Sable Wagon, as he slots in nicely. Here comes the Renault. Nice hit there by the Renault, and the Mercury sideways, but still alive. Here comes a light tap by Nerf Hammer. Nerf Hammer just does that, and yeah. A not-so-light tap by the Mercedes Actros. He's going to leave those back flaps open to, let the Rimac out, because that will give him better balance, supposedly. Big hit there by the Actros, and all 3 cars are tossed off the track, and all of them make spectacular recoveries, especially the Mercury, who gets dragged to the front and then rolls it over to make a recovery. Here comes Roland Solo. Nice undercut there by Roland Solo, and yeah, he finishes off the Actros. Here comes the bus to set up his ramp. A slow drive there by the bus as he sets up his ramp. First to take a plunge, it's going to be the Ford F-150. Nice jump there by the F-150 as he keeps it steady and stays alive. Here comes the Audi Quattro. Nice jump there by the Quattro, but then he hits the Actros and cannot make a full recovery as the Mercury's blocking the way. That's going to be one of the big loss for Drab Gray. That was one of their more solid vehicles. The Mini Cooper's going to take the jump. The Mini flies off the ramp and the Mini just jumps and gets stuck on Quad Rod, and right now he's just sticking himself up against the crates. No idea how that happened. Well, that's going to be an out if he stays like that, which he probably won't. Here comes the Lamborghini Essenza for Lambo number 5. Nice jump there by the Essenza, and the Mini topples, and is still upside down. That is not good for Green Gold. They just lost their best vehicle. Back around the roster, it's the Volvo V60. The Volvo makes a nice jump and breaks one of the line things on the front of the bus off, but cannot stick the landing, and it's out. Here comes the Jaguar XESV Project 8. Nice jump there by the Project 8, and I think he recovered. So, good job there. Here comes Twin Mill to take the plunge. Nice job there by Twin Mill as he bounces off the crates, but could not stick a landing. That flipping and flopping was cool, though. Here comes Turbine Time. Nice jump there by Turbine Time as he rolls over on top of the bus and he sticks the landing on his own teammate. Here comes the Drag Merc. Nice jump there by the Drag Merc as he bounces off the crates and sticks the landing. Looks like Brick Built are going to try to stop the ramp. Here comes Heavy Hauler. And Heavy Hauler's back trailer goes curbside while coming down the hill, and yes, is sitting on the track wall, which slows him down. Can't really do a collision. sets up that ramp sort of though. Here comes F-150 Animal Control to take that ramp first. The F-150 flies off the ramp and does a rollover and makes a nice recovery. Here comes the V12 Speedster. The Speedster just breaks the ramp apart as it goes behind him, and it's still sort of a ramp, just broken. Here comes the Pagani Huayra. The Pagani Huayra biffs off of the ramp thing and pushes it off the track, and it gets off the track safely. And look at that, Heavy Haulers curbside. That's not good for Brooke Bill. Here comes the Lamborghini Veneno. Big hit there by the Veneno, cannot get underneath the Aston. And look up front, Heavy Hauler's getting underneath his own teammate, the bus. And look at that, the turbine time's starting to tip because of that. So some cars are in precarious positions now. Here comes the SEM1 Datsun 510 wagon. The wagon pushes in and the Veneno gets underneath the Aston, and the Aston is left sideways. Wow, our champ is getting eliminated for the second time. And by an undercut too. Wow, okay. And the back piece of the hauler gets broken off. Here comes the Vulcan. The Vulcan gets underneath the Datsun, but cannot take him down. And the hauler Heavy Haulers gets settled back into the track. The Datsun's still a little curbside though. Here comes the 05 Mustang SEMA. The Mustang can't really do much, just does some shoving, and yeah, that's it. Here comes the Scania rally truck. The Scania blasts into the line, and the Veneno faces some karma for taking down one of the best cars. As he goes over sideways, the Scania deploys the Escort onto the track. And some more iffy cars, the Datsun gets off to safety though. Here comes Super Comp Dragster to try and do some undercutting. Super Comp takes down the Escort and then flips over. Done. Looks like Brick Built's trying to set up a ramp again. It's the Impounder. The Impounder just does light tap and yeah, locks it in. Here comes the 2016 Ram 1500. Let's see if that canopy helps him. The Ram goes flying and leaves the canopy up front, but he makes a recovery, so the canopy helped. Here comes the Ford Transit News Van. The news van flies off into the distance and hits the canopy and makes a nice recovery. At least it's alive. The first car out of Drab Gray to be alive. Here comes the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. The Aston flies off and breaks off the ramp on the first place ramp on the back of Impounder and makes a nice recovery near his teammate. But the Impounder still has his secondary ramp. Here comes the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. The Lamborghini hits the secondary ramp and sort of breaks it, but still goes off of it and is in some trouble. Here comes the Nissan Prairie. Nice hit there by the Prairie as he eliminates the Sesto. Here comes the Viper. The Viper just assassinates two vehicles. The Prairie gets turned over sideways, and along with the Impounder, who had his ramp broken, so he was easy to undercut. Wow, the Viper just took down two cars. Here comes another Viper, albeit a newer generation, the 2013 Viper. Nice hit there by the Viper as he takes out its twin, its older twin. And yeah, the newer twin's now curbside. Here's a bruising hit that's going to be coming. It's the Raybestos Transporter, 134 grams. Watch out. An absolutely bruising hit by the Raybestos, and the newer Viper gets turned over, but the older one makes a recovery, and the Raybestos turns over on the track sideways. That's not a good thing for Big Blue. It was too top heavy. Here comes the Justice League Batmobile. The Batmobile hits the thing and just, sneaks underneath. Here comes Brick and Delivery. And Brick and Delivery hits the back of the Raybestos, breaking off its ramp, and its ramp breaks off while coming down the track, and Brick and Delivery goes over sideways. Ouch. Here comes the 2016 Taco. The Taco rides the piece of ramp that was still on the track, and yeah, he turns over sideways and prevents the impounder from making a recovery. Here comes the Charger. The Charger blasts in and tosses the piece of ramp. The Rebestos is still sideways, but he disconnected from its trailer. Here comes the Cobra. Nice hit there by the Cobra, and there's some bounce back motion right there, as the Cobra is now curbside. Here comes the Lamborghini Sian. The Lamborghini gets underneath the Cobra, but the Cobra does a twisting motion, a barrel roll in midair, and does make a recovery. And the Lambo can't get underneath the Charger. Final 10 cars. Up first, it's the 33 Plymouth. Nice hit there by the Plymouth as he removes the Sian and Charger's curbside. Here comes the Bugatti. Big hit there by the Bugatti, and the Sian's turned over sideways. I thought he would be safe, but apparently he's not. And the Plymouth's getting underneath the Charger. Here comes the 70 Camaro RS. Nice hit there by the Camaro, and there's going to pile up forming. Here comes the mighty Chevy van. A mighty hit by Chevy van as he takes himself out using all the force, tried to stay upright but could not do it. And the Camaro's tossed over, the Charger's over, and the Plymouth, it's still upright, so it's not a triple takedown, sadly. Here comes the MBX Flatbed King to try to set up its ramp. Nice hit there by the Flatbed King, and I think he took down the Plymouth, and he tosses the piece of ramp into the distance, and the Charger gets dispatched down, and he's curbside but alive. Here comes a big long thing, the limo. The limo does a big hit right there, and he turns the Flatbed King on its face, funnily enough, and the Plymouth is still hanging on for dear life. Here comes the International Ambulance. Nowhere to go for the ambulance except back, as he bounces a little, and Flatbed King tips a little forward. Plymouth actually made a recovery, and now the limo's curbside. Here comes the Koenigsegg Gemera. Nice hit there by the Gemera, can't really do much, goes curbside. Here comes Duck and Roll. Nice, it did not take down Gemera right there. Gemera stays alive. Final car of the round, the Lamborghini Murcielago. Nice hit there by the Lambo, but it cannot take down Duck and Roll, and that's the end of the round. 21 eliminations. Even though it seemed like a massacre, not that many eliminations. Let's look at the aftermath. The Splitters, the Trucks, and Valley of Green Gold only lost one, although Valley of Green Gold lost their best car. Withering Wagons lost 2 down to 3, along with Witness, Mies, and Brick Built. Indigo took a big hit, losing 3, along with Big Blue. Drab Gray, the Champs, also lost 3 and their champ. And Lambo number 5 also lost 3. And here's a look at points. Sadly, the Rebestos got eliminated and the back end was broken off because I just replaced those tapes, so... Well, now it's time for round 2. Starting us off, it's the Viper SRT10 ACR. The Viper slots it in nicely into the track. Here comes the 09 Ford F-150. Nice hit there by the F-150. He pushes the track buffers off and the Viper goes to the front. Here comes the Pagani. The Pagani slots it in nicely. Here comes the Mercury. The Mercury also slots it in nicely. So far, all the cars have been slotting it in nicely. Here comes Dragmerc. Dragmerc also slots it in nicely. Wow, all the cars have been slotting it in nicely. Here comes the bus. I'm guessing this is probably the last vehicles that's probably going to get slotted in nicely. And yep, he also slots it in nicely. First up, it's going to be the Mustang to take the plunge, but he has that splitter. Can he prevent the ramp? Nice jump there by the Mustang as he does some rolling, bounces off of the F-150, and makes a recovery. Nice job there. Here comes Turbine Time. Nice jump there by Turbine Time, but oh no, Turbine Time gets stuck on the F-150 sideways. That's just weird. I didn't know what to say. Here comes the Koenigsegg Yamera to take the plunge. The Yamera bounces off the F-150 and Turbine Time comes toppling down as the Yamera comes down the track, and the Yamera cannot make a recovery. Drab Gray are now down to 1, and Big Blue got back their best vehicle. Here comes the Lamborghini Murcielago. The Lamborghini just prevents the ramp, doesn't go off of it. Wow, one of the only cars to be able to do it. Aside from the Sky, the Bugatti. The Bugatti slams into the Murcielago, but the Murcielago flies off the ramp and makes a nice recovery. Meanwhile, the Bugatti is curbside. Here comes the International Ambulance. The ambulance slams into the Bugatti but cannot take him down. And so far, there's only been one elimination in this match. Here comes the Vantage. The Vantage slams into the International, and the International gets put in a weird position. I don't know if that's a survivor or not, but we'll see. Here comes the 33 Plymouth. The Plymouth slams into all 3 cars, including itself, and he takes all of them down, including itself. Well, guess 3 teams are losing 1, and a piece of the ramp just got broken off, courtesy of the Plymouth. I doubt the ramp's going back into commission anytime soon. Here comes the Batmobile to take the ramp. And the Batmobile still takes the ramp and just flips over upside down. Done. Bruh. Here comes the bus's own teammate, the limo. Gotta take the ramp. The limo flies off of the ramp and gets stuck in a weird position. I don't know if it's a survive, but we'll see if any cars hit it or something. Here comes Nerve Hammer. Nerve Hammer just lightly locks it in. Here comes the Scania, 85 grams, because without the car. Actually, 80 grams? I'm not sure. But anyway, still a big hitter. Big hit there by the Scania, but nowhere to go. The line is tight and the Scania sort of comes off the track. That's not good. Here comes the Transit. The Transit hits the Scania and the Scania is now going over. That's not good. And there's dogs barking. Here comes the Lamborghini Essenza. Nice hit there by the Essenza and finishes off the Scania. And now getting underneath Nerve Hammer. Here comes the Renault Sport. The Renault slams into the line and Nerve Hammer is safe. Essenza and the Renault are in deep trouble. Here comes the F-150. F-150 slams into the line and sort of clears the track. And the limo tips a bit more, I think. Or maybe not, because it's sort of hitting the ground, which is actually making it more upright. Not sure. Here comes the Cobra. A pretty tame hit by the Cobra. Only like 26 grams. F-150 ain't going over. Here comes the Datsun 510 wagon. The 510 wagon clears off both cars off the track, and both of them are sideways. Now the trucks only have one surviving member on the field, along with Green Gold, and they're both locked in at the front, right next to each other. Here comes Roland Solo. Roland Solo gets underneath the Datsun and now sort of removing him. Here comes Heavy Hauler. Heavy Hauler slams into the line and Roland Solo gets turned over upside down along with the Essenza. Wow, those 2 teams are in some deep trouble and the top engine of Heavy Hauler gets broken off. Looks like I guess the limo recovered there and yeah, the back bumper just broke off. Also, that piece reattached itself back in round 1 because some car slammed into it. Here comes the Jaguar XESV Project 8. Slams into the line and the piece recovers. Wow, okay. That's strange, but okay. Here comes the Ram. He doesn't have the canopy, but he's still pretty good. The Ram rams into the line and just escapes the track, bouncing off of the Jaguar. And that's going to be 2 for the trucks. Nice. Final car of the round, Duck and Roll. Duck and Roll slams into the line and cannot do anything, and that's going to end the round. Doing a few measurements, looks like the Asenza is barely out. But it appears that the limo has barely survived. Also, I don't really use a 45-degree measuring tool, because I don't really have one of those, so I'm just going to wing it with this Lego piece. So, only one more elimination to the definitely eliminated cars. The Aston's still there, by the way. 11 eliminations total. Let's look at the aftermath. Looking at the aftermath, the Splitters did not lose a single car. They are still at 4. Brickbill also did not lose a single car. They are still at 3. The Trucks lose 2 down to 2 along with Green Gold. Ice Picks did not lose a car, still at 2. Wagons and Witness Me's took a big hit, also losing 2, but they're just down to 1. 2 Mercuries. Big Blue, Drab Gray, and Lambo number 5 each lost 1, down to 1. And here's the pieces that were broken off. These ones. And here's a look at points. Splitters leading with 12. Now it's time for round 3. Starting us off, it's the Renault Sport RS01. Nice hit there by the Renault. Removes one of the track buffers. Here comes the bus. The bus has set up his ramp. F-150's taking the plunge first. The F-150 flies off the ramp and bounces off the side of the track and makes a nice recovery. Good job. Here comes Duck and Roll. Duck and Roll takes the jump and ooh! He gets caught up on the track and cannot make a recovery. That's going to be a loss for Green Gold. They are down to 1. Here comes the Mustang. He has a low front splitter. Can he prevent the ramp? The Mustang cannot get underneath the ramp, but prevents it and keeps it locked in nicely. Here comes the Mercury Sable wagon to shake things up. The Mercury slams into the line and nowhere to go. That Mustang's holding up things. Here comes the Drag Merc. Nice hit there by the Drag Merc. Can't do anything though. Here comes Turbine Time. Turbine Time slams into the line and the Drag Merc gets underneath the Mercury, and the Mustang finally is not able to prevent the ramp and is now coming off the track. Wow, this is a dangerous position. Here comes the Transit. Nice slam there by the Transit, and the Mercury and the Mustang are still in deep trouble. Here comes the Lambo Murcielago. The Lambo slams into the line, and the Mustang gets rolled. Ouch. But the Mercury somehow still stays alive, although still kind of on the track, so not fully safe yet. Here comes the Dodge Viper SRT 10ACR. The Viper sort of clears the gray cars off the track, and the Murcielago and the Transit are in deep trouble. Here comes a mighty slam by the limo. A mighty slam by the limo, but both gray cars make it out of there alive. The Lambo especially made a nice rollover. Great job there. Here comes the Ram 1500. The Ram slams into the line and sort of breaks something off of the limo, and now the Ram's curbside. Here comes the Huayra. The Huayra slams into the Ram and finishes him off, and the Huayra breaks another piece off of the limo. And the Huayra's in some trouble as he's halfway off the track. But not much trouble, it's just Nerve Hammer. A light tap there by Nerve Hammer, and the Pagani has escaped the track. Here comes the Bugatti Chiron. The Bugatti tries to finish off Nerve Hammer and Indigo, but cannot do it. Nerve Hammer is halfway off the track. Here comes Heavy Hauler. This about to do some damage. Big slam there by Heavy Hauler, but all it does is toss the Bugatti over the limo and take him down. And look at that mighty hit by the Heavy Hauler. Now the Mercury up front is in deep trouble. Final car of the round, the Jaguar XE-SV Project 8. Big hit slam there by the Jaguar, and I think something broke on Heavy Hauler, and nothing much else happening, and that's going to end the round. Before eliminations, let's look at the aftermath. Looking at the aftermath, every single team is down to one car except for the Splitters and Brick Built, who are at 3 apiece. And here's a look at points. Yeah, Splitters are still leading with 21 points. And here's the pieces that got broken off. Both from the limo. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. And next time is going to be part 2 of the finals, which we will see who wins it all. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.